Good morning, everyone. I think this is working. I just need to triple check that, make sure it's true. I know these intros are a little shaky. Hold up one second. Because it always says live, but it doesn't show the video. We're going to get right to it in a second. We're going to be talking about email today. I don't know if you saw my Instagram post. I did a little promotion for this week's podcast. There it goes. Okay, good. Now I know it's actually working. So, welcome everyone back to the Can Win Sales podcast. This is the fifth episode, and we're being very consistent about it every Tuesday, no matter what, and Thursdays, if and when I can. And this episode today, we're going to be discussing one of my favorite subjects. Actually, is email, and I think I think it gets a bad rap. Email is something that people talk about. You hear it a lot. Email is dead and all this stuff. I think there's a large sort of population, I guess you can say, that are still using email, especially the older generation, which is kind of in turn making a lot of the younger generation still use it. I don't think that social media will replace email. People thought it was a fad at first. They thought it was just something that was like a trend. It was a trendy thing. It was come and go, but it didn't, and it stuck around. And I think a lot of corporations are using it, and it's great. And I'm sure you've heard about the importance of subject line. And I mean, if you haven't, definitely look into some ideas about your subject line, your spacing in your email. Look at examples of other emails in your industry. But email is important. I think an email list is very important. They do say with every additional email you have, that's one more dollar you'll make that year. And when I heard that, I just started really organizing and accumulating a lot more emails. My big question to you this week is, do you have an email list? Okay, and how organized is it? How organized is that list, rather? So, yeah, I guess what I do, and really the point I want to drive home today is, uh, how do you categorize your emails? Do you categorize your emails? And how important it is to do that, because customers can sense that sort of thing. They can sense if you're being organized, if you're sending out monthly emails on time every single month without fail consistently, or if you're just haphazardly sending them out once in a while, or sending too many, or sending not enough, or the messages aren't clear. Make your message very clear in the email and make it consistent. So I was going to talk about how I categorize emails. I do it in three categories, and it could be different for you. Maybe you want to do five, maybe you want to do two. But how I do it are current clients would be my first category, and those are people I send emails to maybe once a week or every other week. I'll send them an email. So I'm sending a lot more emails to those clients than I am the other two categories. So the first category are my current clients. The second category are, I would like to say, either hot leads or warm leads or leads, so however you want to phrase it. Those are basically how I do this. Those are my leads, and those are people that have either replied, we've provided proposals to in the past, but have not purchased from us, or something of that nature, where we've made contact with them, we've sent discovery email out, or cold email, we've gotten some kind of response back, so they go in that funnel, they go into that category of you know leads. Now the last one is going to just be everybody else, and that is that list will obviously be the first one. Your clients will be a lot smaller than your second one, and then your third one's going to be just a giant list with however many emails that you can accumulate, and you aggregate that list into just a funnel where you're sending a monthly email there every single month, no matter what. You send it. You can block it out. You can BCC them. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter that much because they haven't purchased from you. You're not taking any kind of risk on a current client. So do it. Get in there and just send those emails. And of course, there's lots of other ways you can promote your company. With social media or challenge selling or cold calling on the phone or going to seminars, or you can't do that now because COVID. So I think more people are using. On that note, more people are using email now more than ever. I think because they're all in their offices, and I'm getting lots of responses with emails. So those are your three categories, and see what works. I try different messages. Sometimes I get a high rate response back. Other times, not so much. So I'll know, maybe there's too much in there, or I'll talk a little bit about setting up a good email. I think sometimes less is more, especially on your first email. Just kind of you want to capture their attention somehow amongst all the other emails they get, and sometimes especially CEOs and people on high levels in companies, they get thousands of emails a week, and it's really hard to differentiate which ones they want to open or close. Sometimes they just delete them all. I mean, how do you look at email? That's a good way to look at it. Like, which emails do you open? Do you even use email? If you're not, I highly suggest you start using it a lot more, and I think it'll really help your business. Um, and how do you use it? How do you read those emails? What subject lines captivate you? These are all things to kind of take note of. When you get responses from high level people, how do they respond back? Um, I think sometimes at that point, it's good not to use so much formality in your emails. Sometimes you want to bring out some of your personality within your emails. Oh, by the way, we're shooting today inside the living room. These podcasts are just going to come up no matter what, no matter where I am, because I want to keep them consistent. Today I'm working in the living room with my wife, so we're just rocking and rolling, working with my partner. We're kicking butt. This is great. But had to get on here, had to do the podcast. I'm so excited about this podcast. This thing means everything to me. It's going to be the start of a great thing, a great company I'm starting called Can Win Company. And I'm here, this is a free resource to you. There's no obligation, very low risk because you can just try these concepts for free and see what works for you. I'm not telling you it's going to change your company overnight, and email is the only way you should sell, but I think it should be one of the tools in your toolbox. I think it definitely should be. Um, and the last thing I'll talk about is where you get these emails. Well, you can look at, you can go on. I think Facebook actually. I'm not a big fan of it. Instagram, Facebook, things like that. But I think Facebook's one of those things where you do have the older generation that I think they're mostly using that, and you've got a lot of emails there. I mean, I find lots of emails there. Take, for instance, if I'm looking for tree companies in Alaska, all right, take for example, or maybe Mississippi, because I actually did that yesterday. Tree companies in Mississippi, you search it, boom. You click on one, and what's cool about Facebook is if you like the company, what happens is you have like 5 similar companies that pop up there. And a lot of the time you scroll down, you'll see the email right there. Boom, you grab that email, you put it in your list. Okay, you put it in your massive email, just, however you want to label that, junk drawer emails or just massive list, whatever. You just put it in there and it's not going anywhere. And you just start emailing these people. If they say take me off the list or whatever, you respect that and you take them off the list because there's plenty other fish in the sea where you can email. And definitely, definitely, definitely respect people's wishes. If they do not want emails, do not email them any further. Don't get smart with them and try to, just move on to the next person. You'll find your clients, you'll find your people. There's lots and lots and lots of companies out there who are interested in what you do, even though there's lots of competition. They're not you. They can't communicate like you, and they don't have the same message as you that could tailor to someone more effectively than someone else possibly. So I hope some of this helped. I really do, and I want to encourage you to send more emails. Of all the tools I use, I think email is probably 60% of what I'm doing when I'm selling. I used to walk into a lot of apartments as far as commercial maintenance go. I used to walk into a lot of apartments and things like that. Now I just email them. We've got a giant list of apartments that I email, and I almost feel like outside sales, it might be a little more effective sometimes in person to get your message across and introduce yourself. But I can email, I don't know, 100, 200, 1,000 emails, 1,000 apartments a day, rather than maybe calling on 15 to 20 if I'm doing it in person. So let the email do the walking or the running for you, I should say, and get out there and do it. And let me know your results in the comments. Maybe I'll give you a little mission today. Send out 25 emails a day to completely new emails and start to build up that massive list. Uh, and every email is another dollar, right? So get out there, email people, and help people. Come with the right intention. Don't just come into it like, oh, I need to make money and email as many people as possible. When you get someone replying, focus in on them, care about them, and until that is resolved and you've built a relationship there, then move on to the next person. Take your time. And again, my current client list is my most important list, and they are priority. They're before everyone else. in my emailing because I want to take care of them, make sure they're okay, and that way, they stick with you and they like you for the long term. So again, I hope some of these concepts definitely helped. I have a lot more things I could tell you about email. If you're interested in talking more about email, give me a call. My cell number is 773-610-2486. And leave a message if I don't answer, just so I know it's you. Say, I saw your Can Win podcast, and I'm interested in talking about emailing. I have a bigger program that we can talk about, or you can do the trial run. I'm actually setting up a little trial run. It's going to be a lot less money, and I'm excited to do that too. So, if you'd like to talk more, give me a shout. I'd be happy to talk with you. Best time for me is after like 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time because I'm doing my other job. But on that note, yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful week, and hopefully we'll see you Thursday. If not, definitely next Tuesday. I've got a lot of ideas for future podcasts. And thanks for watching today. Thanks for sticking around. Have a great, wonderful day. Have a profitable day. Take care. Greg with Can Win Sales Podcast.